Throughout the history of ancient Western thought and culture, its core is woven from two vastly different philosophical and religious traditions. The polytheistic philosophy of ancient Greece and Rome, represented by Plato and Aristotle, emphasizing reason, intellectual inquiry, and contemplation of the natural order. The Abrahamic monotheism of Christian theology, which formed the spiritual and social bedrock of medieval Europe. These two systems of thought, from the very beginning, gave rise to entirely different artistic paradigms. Greco-Roman art revered mimesis, the imitation of nature, striving for the most refined realism to capture the proportions and vitality of all living things. Christian art, particularly as expressed in the Middle Ages, deliberately kept its distance from the physical material world in order to avoid the religious tattoo of idolatry. Medieval art abandoned any faithful rendering of the human body or three-dimensional space, turning instead toward a world of heightened symbolism, flatness, and spiritual metaphor. The passage from the classical age into the Middle Ages, and then into the Renaissance, was not merely a violent transfer, erasure, and reconstruction of artistic technique. It was accompanied by a transformation of ideas as well. As art's center of gravity shifted from representing living, breathing, earthly life to constructing radiant, transcendent symbols of the divine, the classical memory of perspective, anatomy, and chiaroscuro was gradually forgotten over the course of 1,000 years. In its place arose intricate and elaborate composite crafts, mosaics, illuminated manuscripts, and the like. This transformation was not a simple regression, but rather a displacement of where technical energy was directed. Yet, by the time of the Renaissance, intellectuals and artists erupted with an extraordinary passion to summon back that lost classical memory. The greatness of the Renaissance lies in how it brought the forgotten cultures of Greece and Rome back into the realm of thought, and entered into a dialogue of synthesis and accommodation with Christian faith. This historic fusion found its perfect visual expression in Raphael's supreme masterpiece, The School of Athens. The great philosophers of antiquity gathered beneath a magnificent structure of towering Roman vaulted arches, each expounding their views on the truth of the universe and of human life. Among them, Plato, hand raised, pointing toward the sky, was in fact a harsh critic of art. He believed that the truth lay at the core of reality, that the material world before us was merely a projection of that truth, and that representational art was in turn a projection of that world, a projection of a projection, something misleading and false. Aristotle, whose hand reaches downward towards the earth, is the true spiritual godfather of realist art. He argued that it is precisely through art's faithful representation and imitation of nature in its truest form that human beings are able to perceive the divine laws of creation and thereby set foot on the path towards truth. In the context of the Renaissance, representing God and the divine through the realistic image of the human body was restored to legitimacy. With the span of just a few decades, Raphael, Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, and others perfectly fused profound personal human experience with the rediscovered techniques of classical realism, reviving spatial earth, perspective, and anatomy, and ultimately created an artistic achievement, both in rational mastery and in the passion of faith, unlike anything that had come before.